Why your word of mouth is killing your business. I know that's a really, really strong way to put it, but I need to dive into this because so many of you are relying on word of mouth to get people in the doors, and that is not what you should be doing. So I am going to get up on my soapbox a bit here, y'all, and get real.
Hey there, studio owner. You've put your blood, sweat, and tears into creating a brick and mortar business that serves your clients and impacts the community you love. You are my hero. And I'm pretty sure we could sit down and talk like besties do because I get it. I've had my studio business for over 12 years, a handful of kids, and a few passion projects that I love. Like this one. Hey there, I'm Melissa Rose, your visibility coach for the studio owner who wants more stellar clients coming through their doors, more bank in their bank account, and more time to hang out and be completely present with those they love most. In this podcast, we're going to share the nitty-gritty of running a successful studio business, sharing stories, talking strategy, and learning practical tips that leave you inspired, empowered, and equipped to create your epic life every single day. So, if you're a dance studio, yoga studio, Pilates studio, or a fitness boutique studio, you are in the right place. Add some kiddos into the mix and maybe a life partner, and I call you a rebel woman. Ready to dive in? Let's get real.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Brick and Mortar Visibility. How are you? Happy day, whatever day you're listening. I am recording on a Sunday, which is something I normally don't do, but I don't have my kids this weekend, so it's just this beautiful, peaceful time, and I am taking full advantage to dive into some back-end office stuff and just leisurely do it. No hurry, no pressure, but this topic of why the word of mouth marketing is killing your business is on my heart really big right now, and I don't know if you can relate, but I'm one of those people that when I get this idea or this download from God, I have to go with it. Okay. So here I am. I'm going with it because I, of course, have had conversations this past week regarding word of mouth. And this is something we rely on so big with our clients and with our business. In fact, even with the Google business profile that I have been breaking down for you all in the past few weeks, that word of mouth, those Google reviews, they mean the world. They really do. They mean so much to us, and they help us so much with our marketing efforts and getting the visibility out there for our local brick and mortars and to our community. But I do not want you to rely on this. So forgive me if I get a little passionate. Forgive me if I might offend you. I will just put that up front. But I'm saying this out of love as somebody who relied on that word of mouth for so many years because I could and I was able to, but as you grow and as you scale, you cannot rely on it. And I'm going to share why. Before we dive into today's episode, though, of course, I want to give a listener shout out. As you know, the word of mouth here. Okay, so right back at me here. The word of mouth of you guys sharing this out to your favorite brick and mortar business owner means the world to me. And with podcast reviews, they tend to be a little bit more difficult to leave. And I know leaving those reviews, as you do, you know, it takes time, energy, and maybe a bit of creativity. I had somebody in the studio who said, Melissa, I want to give you that review. I just am not really good with my words. And I'm like, oh, honey, I get it. But please don't think too much about it or it will not get done. And I really want her review. So anyway, for the podcast, I want to highlight this one. It says, Melissa's no-nonsense, heart-led podcast is a must-listen. She offers the tools to help women succeed in both business and their lives. Thank you, Melissa, for sharing your knowledge with us. You are an incredible coach. Well, God bless you, that weird guy. And I know who this is, so thank you, Chris. That weird guy, you put your handle, and sometimes it's already taken, like if you have like a fun name. So he put that weird guy, which cracks me up because I know it totally fits his personality. All right, so all are welcome here at the Brick and Mortar Visibility Podcast. If you find any value in this podcast, today's episode or maybe a past episode, please share it with your business bestie, the brick and mortar down the street. We need each other. I need your business to succeed and thrive because that will bring more people to the area and see my business. So it's that way of working, okay? And that's how I work and that's how I coach my people. All right, we are going to dive in why your word of mouth is killing your business. Okay. This comes from a conversation with a newer business owner. And with all due respect, absolutely, when you are newer in business, you are going to rely on that word of mouth. But guess what? Everybody's excited about you. Everybody's talking about you because you are new in town. All right? You're the new thing. You're the new and exciting thing happening in our community. And I don't know about most, like your community, but our community, when there's news, and we talk about it, right? We're a town of about 15,000. So when there's a new storefront coming up, we talk about it. And you're talked about in the Facebook groups and all over because people are excited for you, right? We want to check you out. And as a newer business, honestly, you are figuring it out. You are figuring it out with your marketing message. It's kind of sloppy in the beginning because you're not quite sure, or you might, let's be real, a lot of you are perfectionists and you think you have it, and then you start serving your people and then you realize, no, I think I could tweak it a little bit. All right. But you also don't have the time because you're doing all the things, and therefore the resources, money is not there to market in other ways. So yes, lean into that word of mouth marketing. Absolutely. Absolutely. The other thing about being a newer business owner is that you are going to have the biggest influx or biggest growth in the beginning because you have nothing to compare it to. You're starting from zero. So if you make 50 grand the first year, it's going to be your biggest growth ever because you had nothing. And then the next year when you make 70 or 80, it's going to be not as big because the first year was huge, right? So you need to just keep that in mind. Whenever we put something out the first time, it's usually when we have the biggest growth. But the important thing there is tracking it, making sure. Okay, because after a few times, you are going to figure out what works, what messaging works, what platform works, what way of getting that message out to your people works, so that you can dial into it further or put gas on the fire, as my coach would say. All right, so we want to make sure that we are paying attention to the numbers, okay? Pay attention to the numbers. I am going to put a huge asterisk caveat here, though. Marketing is subliminal. So much of marketing is subliminal. And as you are in business, the longer you're in business, the more ways that you are able to get out to people. All right? The more platforms, connections, collaborations, the more you're out there, the more people see you. And then they're going to start saying, I see you everywhere. And that's what they say with my business, and this is the way I teach. If you have not grabbed this workshop, it's the only 3 visibility tools or strategies you need. I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes here. You need an online strategy, you need an offline strategy, and you need a you strategy. Those are the only 3 you need. Now, there are myriads of ways to do that. There are so many ways to do that. And what happens is many business owners try to do it all. And what I really, really want you to do is say, you know what? I'm going to do my online strategy, and that's with Instagram, and I'm going to dive in and just do it there. I'm not going to go in TikTok or YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook or any others. I'm just going to dive in to Instagram and just knock it out of the park. Okay, so do you hear what I'm saying with the 3? Personal, that is you. That's you connecting. Maybe that's you with collaboration. That's maybe you speaking. Okay, and then the third one is offline. And you could think of this as guerrilla marketing, old school marketing. What are you going to put your resources, maybe some time into it? Maybe it's banners in front of your store when you have a new enrollment season or a new year or something new and exciting, okay? Or maybe it's investing in new, we just had our candy shop in town just do a huge, beautiful revamp, and it is stellar. It looks so amazing. Now, granted, that was a bigger investment that took time, but just that marketing. But they have a little easel stand at the end of the block telling everybody where the candy shop is. And they've been doing that for years and years and years. So just things like that. So what I want to talk about today is that word of mouth, though. So people will ask me, okay, Melissa, you want us to do it online, offline, and a personal one with us. Dollars. Let's talk dollars. How much should I be allocating to marketing? And I teach 30, 30. So 30% of your, expenses should be overhead, might be overhead. 30% might be payroll, and 30% should be marketing. Okay. Now, marketing is a big bucket that can cover your software for your website, that can cover your email, that can cover any ads or anything you do for marketing. Okay. So we need to, that's kind of the gauge. And then you have that 90. So that brings us up to 90%. So then you have 10% to put into where it needs. Maybe you're like, shoot, my overhead is over that 30% sugar. I got to bring in a little bit more from that last 10%. But I love that gauge. That's from Lisi Keeker. It's really helpful for me. And it just really put in perspective of, oh, sugar, I'm way too big over here and I got to bring things back, and being creative on how to do that. Okay. So we have that gauge for 30, 30, 30. And you might be realizing, like me, maybe you have a big studio space, and that's a chunk of overhead. I see you and hear you. So how can we create marketing efforts smarter? And I've talked about collaborations a lot on this podcast. I love collaborations, and I love the concept of one-to-many. How can you market yourself, not shouting over the noise, not trying to get your name out above the other place? Just how can you be creative, strategic, and unique in your marketing efforts where you're speaking to many? All right. And maybe that's collaborating with a workshop. Maybe that's going to another venue. I do this so much. And I love it. I love getting in front of other people's audience. I also love speaking. I get out there and speak for the coaching business and the SEO consulting, getting out in front of people. And I also love though my one-on-one connections. As an introvert, I love that. And that ripples out really nicely too, because then I'm meeting with other people. But I want to talk to you about speaking one-to-many. How can you do that? And I'm going to give you an example of my client that I have right now. And maybe this example will linchpin an idea for you where you go, oh my gosh, okay, maybe I could do that. All right. Actually, I have two examples here that I'll share with you that just I think are really smart. So the first one is my client. And she is this beautiful, amazing violinist, and she does Bollywood and Indian weddings and events, okay? And really high-end events, like $500,000 weddings, y'all. Can we just like pause and imagine $500,000 wedding? Okay, so she does these, and I've seen the videos, and she's talked about it, and I mean, just gorgeous, just stunning. Well, at those venues or at those events, they have florists, right? Just as it like any wedding, right? But they're working with those really high-end florists. They're working with those really high-end photographers. And I'm like, Celeste, why? I came in a coaching call, and it was just totally random. It was just like, what if we used your music as a backdrop for them to create a reel where your music is undertone, but then there's shots of you within it, and maybe it's the florist like picking out the flowers, and then she's assembling or he's assembling, and then they're bringing them to the venue, and then you have a picture of the beautiful reception area with all these gorgeous bouquets, and you're walking in and playing. And I'm like, I think that would be a really smart way to both of you have that reel, like this is a digital concept, both of you have that reel to then shout out to your people who are both looking for each other's services, okay? And so being creative that way. Another digital one that I saw that was so fun was this physical therapist, occupational therapist, I should say, who specialized with autistic children and adults. I think more children. And what she sensory learning for autistic kiddos. And what she did was just pass the tool or the prop. And you've seen this. I mean, this was a little bit even, there was like a kind of a surge of these a while back, but they each said something or used a prop and just like less than 3 seconds of what they did. And then it looked like they were passing this prop back and forth. And she partnered probably with 10 or 12 different therapists throughout the country, maybe even world, because now she's just blown up. But collaborating with these people to share their passion, knowledge, and expertise and getting it out to new people. So how can you do that? I recently added a feature to my business, or spoke to my business, as my sister calls it, called Healthy in the Valley. And you may have noticed this in the podcast. I have different featured podcasts about local brick and mortar business owners in the St. Croix Valley area. And what this is an idea that came to me similar to what I shared with you. I was in a coaching program, and the person that was talking was a farmer. Okay, so that's why I shared with you these examples, and I'm going to share with you this example because you might hear this and go, oh, okay, I can do something else. So what I did, I was listening to this person. She was a beef farmer, and she was wanting to assemble a recipe PDF with area, I'm sorry, that's my coffee, I probably shouldn't stir it, with area farmers, so that they all were inside this PDF, and then they would all share it out to their networks. And now, oh, there's a beef farmer local? Okay, I want to go buy some like farm raised beef, like grass-fed beef or whatever. And I was like half listening, you guys. I wasn't even really listening. But then like within 24 hours, I was like, how could I make this work for my business? How can I make this work? So for those of you that don't know, I have a dance studio business, okay? I specialize in beginner students of all ages, even adults, okay? So the beginner student. And I was like, how can I make this work? Well, I'm very health conscious, okay? I really believe our body can take care of itself if we take care of it, right? And I love my local chiropractors and physical therapists and acupuncturists and nutritionists, and like I love those people genuinely. And I was like, I think if I did something like this where I am collaborating with them in the fact that we all assemble our businesses together and create something out to the community that is needed, that's free to the community. Now the community knows about us, and they know, oh, there's another chiropractor, or that closer to my sister who lives on this side of town, or whatever, you know? And it was a way to get the word out about our business in a unique way that, you know, one to many. It was another concept of one to many. And that is called Healthy in the Valley. So if you happen to be listening and are local to the St. Croix Valley, and you have a business that specializes in health and wellness in mind, body, and soul, you are welcome to be part of this publication. So you can go to healthyinthevalley.com and learn more about what the community gets, and then you can become a member. And it is a really, really great way to get more people to learn about your business, who you are, what you do, and who you serve in a super cost-effective way. You guys, it is, to me, a no-brainer offer because I pay for monthly publications in magazines or other digital resources, and this price is hands down a no-brainer offer. And as I'm recording this right now, you get this week until March 3rd. If you are a health and wellness business owner, you can become a member at a platinum level for only $197 for 6 months. So $197 okay, that's it for 6 months of amplified visibility. Plus you get a free podcast episode and an IG live with that membership at the platinum level. So it is an extremely cost-effective way to get out to people. And we have all of the members shouting it out to their people. All right. So it's just a really great way, a hands-open way to share with our community the amazing businesses that are right here serving us in health and wellness in mind, body, and soul. So I wanted to talk about that because many businesses are so reliant on that word of mouth. And there are better ways to amplify your business, amplify your visibility, getting more people to know, like, and trust you without screaming over the noise. And like I said, collaborations, one to many, is a great way to do that. So take this episode. If you are not local to the St. Croix Valley, what did you take away? What could you maybe start or not start, take advantage of a platform or a collaboration that's already available to you, and maybe lean into that. All right. So you're not having to double down on your efforts, because marketing now is harder than ever. It is so hard. The stuff that worked, I was just talking to another business owner this week, the stuff that worked even last year doesn't work anymore. Like Reels used to get so much more visibility than they do now because now everybody's doing them. Okay. A year ago, not as many people were doing them. So you got more visibility. Facebook groups, going into Facebook groups and connecting. And it's not as easy as it used to be because either people have outgrown it or gotten tired of it or gotten sick of it, or it's just more and more people you're competing with. Okay. So how can you do this differently but effectively? So if you haven't grabbed that workshop, the only 3 you need, please grab it. It's like 30 minutes. And I talk about the 3 different ways to market your business. And I don't want you doing 10 things. Who's got time for that? Okay. I want you doing 1 in each category, but I want you to do it, keyword here, y'all, and you know it, you've heard it before, consistently. And consistency over time is huge. It will compound your business more than anything. Okay, so word of mouth is awesome, but please do not rely on it because over time it plateaus out and people know about it, but they're not taking action. They're not as excited about it. So we need to keep them excited. And how are you getting them excited and in your doors? Okay, so grab that workshop. If you haven't grabbed the Google workshop, you can do that too. Everything is at msmelissarose.com/deals. You can see all the offerings, so many free resources right there at your fingertips. If you haven't, please leave a podcast review and rating, and even better, share this out with your favorite brick and mortar business owner. All right, you all. I hope you got value out of today's episode. I appreciate you all so much for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you here same time, same place next week. Peace. Bye-bye.